these cards kind of revealed that there's a similarity between Arthur Lee Allen, which is the number one suspect, and Ross Sullivan, who was actually another suspect. We did find that there is some connection from Ross to Sherry Joe Bates. There's some connection. Like we've pinpointed it. We don't know what that connection is, but we do feel that this kind of started it all. Okay. And we've also kind of uncovered that there is some type of romantic feelings between Arthur and Ross. I know no one's really like said that out in the open, but who's really going to put that in a police report? I mean, that was never once said in any way. And we, so far, like in our readings, I did a reading on Arthur, and we did get a lot of like child molestation and murders of children and things like that that are not on or a part of this case. We'll say that. This is crazy. I keep inviting Bree. I don't know why. It's a little slow apparently to get her on here. You're back. Oh my gosh. I feel like I tried 100 times.
You froze and I kept going, so I didn't know which end was froze.
I know, me neither. Okay. So let me just, I filled a couple of you in, and we're kind of at a place now where there is some maybe a connection between Ross and Sherry, right? Maybe some connection. We've figured out the energy is connected somehow, maybe. But also could be to Richard, because you still heard Sherry when you read Richard. So we can't forget about that. Now, when we read the energy between Arthur Lee Allen, which is the number one suspect, or Ross Sullivan, which are also another number one suspect. I don't know if you can have two number ones, but they're the main guys, I think. But we kind of uncovered that there's some hidden relationship of some sort, maybe behind the scenes, maybe hiding their sexuality or their relationship for one another, or their relations for or with one another somehow. So if that is the case, Bree, I think it's like a Bonnie and it's like a Clyde and Clyde like kind of thing. It's what we have going on here. It's
it makes sense too why they would never get caught, because they could constantly cover each other's asses and nobody even knew that there was that connection. So
right. And couples do dress alike, and they both had very similar like balance. They both balance. Yes, yeah. They both wore similar like military style. They were both very kind of cold people, kept to themselves, but they both have very clear like they were in the same places at the same time all the time. Like that's why there were two suspects. Like nobody sat and said, okay, what if they were a couple? What if they were just this really like messed up, psychologically messed up from childhood probably, okay, people that were not accepted for who they were when they were younger, and either maybe they were molested or raped or whatever the case was, because there's obviously, nobody is born just wanting to do shit like this. I mean, there's got to be a lot of trauma. So,
I'm sorry, I just asked Spirit, when did they meet? When did Arthur and Sullivan meet? And I heard 66. And the same time I heard 66, the friendship card fell out. So I feel like in the first murders, the Robert and Linda were in 1963. And then next was Sherry Joe Bates in 66. I didn't even see that when I heard 66. Yeah. So the year that Sherry Joe Bates was killed is the year that Arthur and Sullivan actually met. That's when their friendship started.
Right.
And then the cryptograms didn't come out until 2 years after that.
Right. And, I don't know who did them. I mean, they were both kind of versed in some type of cryptology, but honestly, I don't know if, I feel like they just used it as protection for them. I just pulled protection card as I was trying to like figure out what the next word is to say. But this, like they definitely used this as their protection to keep people busy. I mean, they were doing everything, and people were doing everything that they said, anything. They could go do anything they wanted, the next murder, because they were like, I'll go blow up a bunch of kids in Mexico. Everyone runs to Mexico and looks at that didn't really happen, but
It was said to all the media stations too. So it's like, this person was bragging and bragging, but never ever for a second actually thought they were going to be caught. And they weren't.
right.
So